Hello everyone, I'm Lonnie,
I'm Amber.
and we are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by Infinity Flux out of Hickson, Tennessee. And we're actually going to do our neat stuff again. This is actually the Rick and Morty season finale recap, and that is awesome. We know our stuff is working
Right.
because they're in. Oh, Devasso the Great and Cart Foon are already on board.
Yes.
So, welcome. We just literally. This is like a busy week. It's a short week. Like we're literally waking up at 3:30 in the morning, going to work, everything, getting the day started, and then we don't get home until a little bit after 7. Hello to Thompson Ronald. So we're not getting into like a little bit after 7 at night. And then, so we have just a little bit of time, and like we're literally going to be in bed before 10. So we're kind of really having to like plow through some stuff this week, and we wanted to hurry up and knock out Rick and Morty tonight, and it's really at our expense because I really want to watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I want to do the stuff that we can review first, and Curb Your Enthusiasm will still be here in a couple of days when I have some free time. But I am off work Wednesday and Thursday, which will open up a whole wide world of possibilities. So we're going to spend the next 20 minutes or so talking about the season finale of Rick and Morty. And feel free to chime in. There's going to be like some hardcore spoilers. I don't know if everybody watching. We are doing this live. People are accumulating legacy tokens, which every live stream we do from now on, legacy tokens are the name of the game.
Yeah,
Those
it's
things,
totally a thing.
they will be redeemable eventually. We are gonna at one point have. You know what? I'm not going to talk a lot about it. We're going to do a special video talking about some of the possibilities of legacy tokens, and like that is great. Amber's already doing.
Well,
like
I mean, I do an example.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah. Look in the chat.
What to do.
If you're in the chat, hit !LT, and that will tell you how many legacy tokens you've got total and how many hours which you've watched. You get 10 tokens for 10 minutes.
The Vasso's already. He's got the hang of it.
So if you want to bet legacy tokens, you could bet up to the amount that you have. Hit UNN space and then the number that you want to bet. But yeah, he actually won. If you win, it'll say Logan loves everybody and gives you your winnings. If you don't win and you lose those tokens, it'll say Jubilee doesn't care for you.
You lost.
And you've lost. So anyway, on to Rick and Morty. This episode was called the Rickchurian Mortydate. There was a lot of hints that this was going to be something completely different than what we had.
Oh, yeah.
We were expecting Evil Morty to show up. We were expecting perhaps to see the reanimated bird person, who is now Phoenix person. We were expecting... there were rumors going around that Morty might die this episode.
Oh, I didn't see none of that.
There was just rumor upon rumor upon rumor. And I almost feel like the creators did this episode as like, we're going to make a good episode, but screw you guys.
No, I don't think it was like that.
You don't think so? Because I tell you, well,
because it was all speculation. It was all speculation about what this episode might be. So no, I don't feel like it was a screw you. I figure like it's you should have been paying attention, because really the end of the last episode before this left you wondering, is Beth a clone or not a clone?
So they
Literally.
did.
They continued from the last episode. This is not a screw you. This is maybe y'all shouldn't read too much and everything.
No, I don't want to say it's not a screw you in the normal sense. It's a screw you in the Rick and Morty creator sense, where like you're not going to get what you expect, but it's still going to be pretty dang good. And this episode, in my opinion, may not have been quite the season finale of last season, where Rick turns himself in, and the family's on the run, and there's like the wedding, and Bird Person gets killed and all that. I feel that season finale was a lot better as far as like a plot device, better than this one.
Kind of, yeah.
This episode could almost be a standalone by itself episode.
No, it's kind of had a cliffhanger because now Rick's really lost.
He doesn't have a place because Morty said to hell with him.
Yeah, they have all said to hell with him. And because Beth thinks she might still be a clone, even though he's clearly made it,
So, do you think Beth is a clone?
No.
Yeah,
no.
I don't.
Beth is scared to death about how happy she was being, how she was coming into her own, and it scared her.
So, actually, her having a fear of being a clone is probably the best thing that's ever happened to her.
Maybe. I think because she was scared to be happy because, we also discovered in the last episode, was it last episode we discovered how, psycho she really is?
Yeah, she was really messed up.
Yeah. And so I think she's afraid if she gets to the point of being happy, the crazy might show a little more. And she's scared of what might happen as far as that's concerned.
I will say, I'll give the writers really due credit on this. Beth has developed so much this season.
Even
immensely.
With the last episode not being all that great, it's still developed.
Yeah. That's funny. Devasso's losing.
Yeah, now he's losing again.
You're going to have to make just a really big bet. Especially after you've lost a handful of times.
Well, he only had 10 to begin with, bless his heart.
But yeah, this episode, I will say, I'm going to go ahead and get my grading out of the way. Mm-hmm. This episode, I'm going to give a 9. It wasn't perfect, and it didn't really have an awesome plot, but my God, the one-liners and the quotable instances, the quotable lines, the action.
And how it ended. It had a good ending.
It was really over the top. It had one of those goofy, laughing family sitcom endings.
No, I don't think it was over the top just because the last frame is Rick staring at them what the fuck is actually going on here?
But if you look at it, though, it's his fault.
It is, and he doesn't realize it yet.
Everything that's happened here is his fault.
He doesn't realize it yet.
He's the one that got rid of Jerry to begin with at the very beginning of the season because he was like, oh, yeah, your dad crossed me, and, he's, nobody's ever going to win. Jerry won.
For now.
Yeah.
Only because Beth is afraid of herself, though. And he's safe.
Came for UNN, stayed for UNN, and the legacy points. Legacy tokens, Devasso. Tokens. That they almost have a golden metallic ring to them when you say tokens.
Yeah,
you could just
like Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
You could just see them just sifting through my fingers, falling into a little clanky pile.
Yeah,
that's what we're shooting for one day.
Okay.
A little token with the Untitled Nerd Network logo emblazoned on it.
UNN.
Laser etched.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But no, this episode, I really liked it. It's basically Rick versus the president. And oh my God, it was amazing. I mean, I can't even, this is one of those episodes that's going to warrant a second viewing to remember, because there's so many quotable lines in this episode to the point where it's like,
I mean, when they get to fighting each other, it makes Peter and the chicken look like a walk in the park.
What was the part where they didn't, whenever the president shrunk down, Rick and Morty had already been there, because they were always one step ahead of him.
Yes, and it just pissed him off more.
The woman gave him the shirt, and he was like, what about pants? She was like, well, you don't get pants, because Rick said you like swinging your dick around.
Yes!
It
was great. They solved that problem and then solved another problem. Basically solved all the president's problems and was like, okay, we'll leave you alone, just leave us alone.
Yeah, but then it just became...
And then it wasn't good enough for
It was
him.
just on principle at that point.
Yeah.
He just didn't like Rick. But it was funny how he basically tricked the president in the end to just forgetting about him. Because he pops up in a fishing hat with fly fishing stuff all over it and this vest. And he shows up and basically looks like a like a fly fishing hillbilly Rick.
Said, "I'm fly fishing
And he was like, "Hey, I'm fly fishing Rick from another dimension. You know, we just kind of swap places, and you know, here we're interchangeable." And he was like, "You know, I want to be, you know, I want to help you out and us be on good terms and everything." And the president's like, "All right." He thinks he's like a whole other Rick, but it's really
the same Rick.
Yeah, the same Rick, just trying to get the president off his back, because Rick at this point is an enemy of America.
Yes.
Which is hilarious. This is kind of off, but my favorite part of the whole episode was when they were just trying their best to find them and they couldn't, and they walk into the Oval Office and they're just sitting there like eating popcorn.
That was great. That was awesome. We hid in the only place you couldn't spy on.
Because that literally just pissed the president off so bad. I mean, it was like you could just like see the rage, and I was
in the Oval Office. Oh my
I laughed. God Almighty! Hey, he won.
I saw that.
That was like the biggest bet he's done, and he won.
Heck yeah.
He should have bet 100.
Well, you can only bet how many you got.
Oh, well, how many does he have?
Probably 14. He probably has like 24. I'm not funny.
If anybody's wondering, we have this thing called legacy tokens, which are basically he's not anywhere near the top.
I told you.
Come on, Devasso.
He's at the very bottom.
You have 10 tokens, dude?
Yeah.
Dude, you really
just... Because he's not been watching as much.
No, it said he's watched.
He's down at the bottom, honey.
No, that's the tokens. He's watched 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
And I'm telling you, dude, you're just gambling your life away.
That's what it is. Anyway.
But yeah, this episode, I loved it. I mean, I really did. It was a 9. I think the reason that I took a point away is just because I had a lot bigger expectations for it. I expected this episode to tie in with at least one of the other two plots, either Evil Morty. But what the Rick and Morty creators seem to be good at is a slow burn.
Yes.
A very slow burn. Because, I mean, think about how long... Wasn't the Meeseeks episode at like the first part or the first season?
I believe so.
I'm almost positive it was in the first season.
Yeah.
And I know that Bird Person met his future wife, who ended up being a spy, during the season finale of season 1 at the house party. And so that was going on the whole season 2, and then she was revealed to be a spy
at the end.
Yeah, at the end. And
they are known for that.
It was. So like the whole Summer's Friend meeting Bird Person began like halfway through season 1 and culminated at the end of season 2, and is still going on, because the after credits scene of the first episode of season 3
that we didn't watch till
didn't watch until last night. She ends up like resurrecting him as Phoenix Person, and I didn't even know that was a thing. But we don't get another mention the whole rest of the episode, and there's no telling what they're doing. The whole deal with Evil Morty, that started in like one random episode, I think, in season 1. We didn't see him again until like the 3rd or 4th episode, about halfway through season 3.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's just all kinds of Easter eggs and hidden things. Like, you know, whenever they're at, Blips and Chits, the arcade, there's a part where Rick's playing this game, and you see in the background, there's a dude playing an arcade game, and a Meeseeks is standing next to him, and whenever the dude hits the high score and goes like that, the Meeseeks disappears. Like he had been helping the guy get the high score. So, I mean, it's not like these guys just get together and say, hey, let's write a cartoon and da-da-da-da-da. There is so much attention to detail in this cartoon that it's just...
It's actually got a good running plot. several
Yes.
good running plots.
Yeah, so much so that they spend a lot of time on these standalone episodes, and the plot. I mean, I'm sure there's things happening with like Phoenix Person and Evil Morty, like in the background
What we don't know about.
that you've never caught, that you've never noticed. I don't know, but
that's why, like, you can't really complain that they take a long time to get it out because they take their time. It's a really good show.
Now I did hear that this episode or this season was supposed to be 14 episodes long, but then they realized that it wouldn't maintain the same quality being 14 episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
And they decided just to do 10. I guarantee there's already people wanting to know a time frame.
Oh, yeah.
When is season 4 coming out? And I'll go ahead and tell you, I mean, this is kind of messed up to say this, but I'm almost anticipating Rick and Morty season 4 on the same level as like Game of Thrones or Walking Dead. It is, because this is like legit fun TV to watch. It's like that show that I do not miss week to week. And, I mean, granted, it comes on too late for me to be able to watch it live every night. Otherwise, I would.
But haven't we all been there with a certain show? Like, I know I have. That's the one reason, like, I always watch American Horror Story, like, the next day or so, because, shit, it comes past my bedtime. For real.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I didn't watch American Horror Story this season.
I didn't either. Well,
like, it's
hard
not
to do something like that when we don't have cable.
That's a pretty good point. And I also thought it was kind of bad that Adult Swim made it a big point to say that Rick and Morty was going to be streaming free this week. I guess maybe it was just the live stream, because
it must have been just the live stream, because
now
it was not free tonight.
Yeah, now you have to have a cable provider log in and everything. And also, I want to take this opportunity, since we've pretty much covered all we could on the episode, to call out McDonald's and give a big old double middle finger to McDonald's, because they announced, like, in the past 24 hours that this coming Saturday, October 7th, they're gonna re-release the Szechuan nugget dipping sauce because of Rick and Morty, and they made a huge thing out of it. Big social media deal. Oh yeah, Szechuan sauce is back. Well, you go on their website to see where you can get it. That's the red flag number one. Where can you get it? That automatically means it's not going to be at every McDonald's.
Yeah.
So I look up Georgia, because I'm going to be working that day, and I, honest to God, was thinking I might take a 30-minute lunch, run to McDonald's, get me some Szechuan dipping sauce around 11 a.m. And no, the only places that they're going to have this stuff is in, like, big cities. Atlanta, Chattanooga, like New York, Birmingham, Nashville, places like that. And, like, there are a lot of, there are even a handful of places in Chattanooga. There are 4 Chattanooga McDonald's that are participating in this promotion. Only one of them are going to have the actual sauce. The other ones are just going to have, like, posters they're giving out.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard about.
Yeah. So there are literally maybe half a dozen McDonald's in Georgia, maybe 8 or 10 in Tennessee. Think about how many McDonald's there are in Tennessee. Hell, there's like 10 within driving distance of here. And there's literally one in Chattanooga that's going to have the dipping sauce. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to get it. But I guarantee there's going to be asshats on eBay selling these little dipping packets of sauce for like $20, $30 a pop. And there's going to be idiots who are going to buy it.
Yeah, got more money than brains.
Yeah. kind of like those people who were charging the $230 for the Super Nintendo Classic.
Yeah.
You know, like, what the crap?
Dev also says, yeah, middle finger to McDonald's. They took down the playground that I played on as a little kid. LOL.
You know, I've been hearing, like, the reason they did that is because there's, like, drug needles and stuff in the playground.
Really?
Like, druggies get in there. Is
Oh
that
my
like an urban
God.
legend?
That's totally an urban legend, yes.
You sure?
Yes, but to be fair, I mean, I know we survived these playgrounds, but
Yeah.
like the metal slides and stuff, it really does get too hot in the summer. And it's not safe.
Yeah, but they changed everything to plastic.
I know, that's why it's plastic and indoors.
But now they don't even have it anymore.
There's several that have.
Do they still have indoor
places.
play places at McDonald's?
East Ridge has one,
Really?
and so does the one in Hickson that
A
we
ball
stopped
pit?
at. No, ball pits are unsanitary. Coming from a child care expert. Ball pits are unsanitary.
They never hurt us.
It's hard to sanitize them. I know. They never hurt us, and I totally agree with that logic.
Kids these days.
But I mean, it's unsanitary, and suffocation can happen with improper supervision.
Oh my God.
You know, God forbid you should make parents watch their kids. Like, I'm just saying.
You know, my 10th birthday was at Discovery Zone in Charleston, South
Oh, I
Carolina.
bet that was fun.
That was amazing.
I bet that was.
I was actually sick, and I still enjoyed the hell out of myself.
My brother had a birthday. at
It was
Discovery
amazing because they had.
Zone. It was a lot of fun.
I mean, it was. They had like this giant ball pit, and they had
Because the
cubes.
adults played too. The adults played at Discovery Zone too. So, like, my dad and stepmom, of course, were up there with us.
I wonder, because, you know, ball pits are unsanitary. But,
Yeah. Well,
like,
and there's the suffocation issue too.
for kids.
Yeah.
Okay? Because apparently today's kids are idiots.
Well, it's not really
no,
they're
that's-
idiots.
that's what-
not. No, parents aren't responsible.
I thought more of, like, they're coddled.
Parents don't watch their kids. They're looking at their phones.
Yeah, but they started taking away play places well before
Well, true.
phones.
Parents still won't watch their damn kids. They were not.
This was a Rick and Morty interview.
It was.
Or a recap. Well, there was a tube that children couldn't get out of, and it was in the back where it was hard for an adult to access it. Really?
Well, okay. Whatever. Kids get scared. Make them get out. I don't know what to tell you.
Throw some tear gas in there. They'll come out.
You're hilarious.
That's what I think.
You better quit if somebody reports it.
God.
Let me just say, I don't support that attitude. I'm not throwing tear gas at children.
I am.
Saying, I work in the child care industry, and I would never do that.
I would. But anyway.
I'm just letting everybody know that. Just for reasons.
Oh. But anyway, it is time now.
Well, how about I give my rating? I mean, you sit there and talk most of the time.
Did you give a rating?
No, because you were too busy talking.
Okay, about everything but Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
I want to know your rating.
That's the same as yours. It's a 9.
Okay.
Flag.
Why?
Tear gas. Sorry.
What was the reason for the -1?
It just wasn't epic or anything. Like, it really wasn't. It was really good.
It was awesome entertaining.
Yeah, but it just, I don't know. It's got to be something really good for me to say 10.
Like Morty's Mind Blowers.
Yeah, that was really good. That was my favorite. And I bet they had a lot of fun with that episode. Because I think episodes like that gives them a little break in the monotony of writing the... Because it really don't have anything to do.
It was like...
kind of, but not really. You know
it was kind of like Bethesda, the people who make Elder Scrolls. You know, people are like just begging for them to make Elder Scrolls 6, the new Elder Scrolls game. And meanwhile, the company has put out like a new Doom game, Wolfenstein, like Fallout 4, a bunch of other projects. And they were like, we can't just be constantly putting out Elder Scrolls games. There's like, because we have to give our people, like, let them be able to stretch their legs.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure if just doing these constant canon episodes, I'm sure it does get old, even if you're only doing 10. I mean, think about the amount of work that has to go into those.
There's too much work that goes into it, especially with as deep as it went this season in character development.
Yeah. And all the details that they put in there. One more thing before we wrap. You know that helmet that I pointed out that is sitting on his bench at seems like every time they show the garage
Mm-hmm.
There's a little helmet. It looks almost like a silver noodle strainer.
Yeah.
And it has these, looks like little barbs sticking out of it all over.
Mm-hmm.
These little red things. Well, there are people who think that is Rick's suicide helmet. That it's connected to like a switch or something, and he will plug it up. And what those things are sticking out are actually like 12 gauge shotgun shells.
Oh, wow.
That whenever you like flip a switch, that they'll all shoot off at the same time into his head and kill him. And it's basically the way he's going to go out eventually. Because there's actually a picture of a real one that's been made, like floating around, and it looks just like the dang thing.
Oh, wow.
I'd have to pull that up. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. There's a ton of fan theories. So, season 4 means we're probably going to go ahead and see Evil Morty.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to see Phoenix Person next season.
But, I mean, for it to even happen, like, in the first episode, we're going to have to see that, like, Rick and Morty are kind of mending their relationship, because right now, where they left it, he's about tired of him. He's about tired of his bullshit. Morty's felt sick of him.
Do you think Rick and Morty are on, like, basically the same level at this point? Like, Morty's not as smart as him.
He's not.
But
he's starting to get more common sense.
And he's no longer the sidekick. He's begun taking charge a lot more.
He is. And, I mean, because there's always been question about, like, maybe possibly Morty has special needs.
Yeah.
And I could, kind of see that. And even if you are special needs, you have areas that you excel in.
Yeah.
And as he's getting older and he's, like, realizing what's really going on with Rick and how, like, he is kind of toxic, so to speak. He's like, no, we're not doing this. We're going to do this. And you're not going to just boss me around.
And it was also, Beth has done the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost like Morty is almost following her in a sense.
Oh, yeah, because he sees his mother growing as a person.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that whole family therapy session really opened it up for everyone, is what it is.
That was the Pickle Rick episode was a major turning point.
Yeah.
Like that.
For everyone.
And it was also a really good episode, too. Mm-hmm. So that might be something that would, again, warrant going back and looking. Like Pickle Rick, I mean, really, I'd be interested, like, the Morty's Mind Blower episode, I think, do you think that Morty basically having his eyes open to Rick doing all that stuff, do you think there's some residual...
Like, even though that they cleared their memories back afterwards.
Yeah.
Do you think that, like, his subconscious still thinks about it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I talk about that all the time. Your subconscious, like, things might not be on your mind, but your subconscious thinks about it constantly and you don't even know it.
Yeah, so even though he did find out that Rick had erased all those memories and, Rick was just a...
And it might be just his subconscious feels like something's not right.
Yeah.
He might not remember what went on or that Rick, manipulated a bunch of things. He just feels like...
There's some negativity there.
I don't know what's going on, but something's not right here.
Like, maybe I should be looking at this guy, a little more closely. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead
and... We need to end this, or we're going to sit here and talk about it.
Like I know, it's weird. We can actually spend longer talking about the episode than the episode is long.
Yeah.
Like 20-minute episode, we've been talking for half an hour. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap. Thanks, everybody, for coming on. Devasso.
Thompson, Ronald, and...
I'm going through our list. Devasso, Thompson, Ronald.
Yep. And Cartfoon.
And Cartfoon. Thanks for coming by. Looking through there. Remember our legacy tokens.
Yeah.
All kinds of... I mean, the channel's taking off.
It is.
Things are looking good. I looked at our numbers today and I about crap my pants. But anyway, everybody, thanks for coming on. We will be back tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, with Poetic Steam Hippie. Look her up. She's going to be really cool to talk to.
Oh, yes. We have an interview.
Wednesday night, we're going to be at Dread Hollow, live, behind the scenes at the Spook House up there. We will be live on that. And I will be live streaming Skyrim, probably all day Wednesday and all day Thursday, because I have to work this coming weekend, and I'm going to have to make up for lost time. So, anyway, thanks for coming on, everybody. It's been fun. I hope you enjoyed the Rick and Morty recap, and then the off-subject banter that we tossed about. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amber.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by Infinity Flux out of Hickson, Tennessee. Drop by and see them this week. All kinds of neat stuff. Marvel Legacy is in full swing. All kinds of neat stuff. If you haven't already, check out the Marvel Legacy #1. That was a great comic. Excellent comic. It even has one of those neat 3D lenticular covers that I really enjoy. $5.99. It's a little pricey, but well worth it. It's a big book. Pretty. Very nice. Awesome art.
It's
good
party.
Story.
Don't tear gas the children, LOL.
No.
Devassos.
No, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but a major character came back from the dead in Marvel Legacy #1. So. Oh. Anyway, everybody have a good night. We'll see everybody tomorrow night during our Poetic Steam Hippie interview at 9:30 p.m. Thanks for watching.